You have arrived at your destination. Digital Street is to your right.
Welcome back to Digital Street, everyone, for our ninth episode.
Wait, was that the intro?
Yeah, that's all I
Okay,
wanted to do.
okay, I love it. I love it. Okay, so yeah, that's the main thing that we're trying to do now, bring in more enthusiasm. So I love it, Sadra. Thank you for putting that energy up. But yeah, welcome back to your girl's favorite podcast. So if it's your first time here, we literally own a street in the metaverse called Digital Street. And every week, Sadra and I meet up over here and we teach you about the rapidly evolving tech and business scene so that you can stay up to date and you don't fall behind. But yeah, this week we actually checked out some stats for Spotify, and a bunch of old people are listening to us. Well, actually, in our eyes, you guys are pretty young, so like you're old in age, but you're still young. And we're our claim of being your girl's favorite podcast is actually like 100% true because 40% of our listeners are actually women. So that's a huge W.
No caps on the street. No caps on the street. All
Yeah.
right, so this week we're gonna mainly talk about AI, where we don't have a lot of Web3 stuff. First, we're gonna dive into the to Google's I/O event that they have annually every year. It happened on May 10th. We're gonna go over some features, some AI features that they announced on there. And then we're going to go right into a bet that we talked about in our previous podcast. We're going to bring that up because I think the bet is finished now, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and Balaji, which is the person who made the bet. And then we're going to go into a new segment on our podcast. It's called the Digital Outlier. I don't want to speak too much about it, but once we get there, you'll know when we get there.
Yeah.
So I think we can start off with the Google event.
Wait, before that though, I want to quickly talk about something that recently happened. So, like as you guys all know, I'm not really into school that much, and like this past semester, not gonna lie, I barely even did anything. And like only my mom and dad knew about that, and I like convinced them after so long, and like it took so long to convince them to allow me to like go full efforts into the agency and like all of my these pursuits. And then recently on a drive home, like my mom just said that to my brother that Marzooq's not doing school anymore. And this guy found out. So like he didn't know all along. And like so basically my brother like pressures me to like do well in school and just continue going down that path. But I continue to tell him that like everything that I'm doing is just like it's so useless. Like they're just preparing me like in the program that I'm in at least. Like like if I was in uni it would have been different, but the program that I'm in, like they're just preparing me for certifications for cybersecurity. Whereas like when you do those certifications, you got to study on your own as well, right? Like you know yourself, Sadra.
Yeah, I was
So
actually preparing for it's not in cybersecurity, but it's very similar. I was preparing for a certification. But yeah, keep
yeah.
going.
But yeah, so like as you can see, Sadra's preparing on his own for the exam, and he doesn't need an entire course that's a few $100 at college just to prepare him for the certification. And my entire program is basically just preparing me for certifications, like almost every course. That like it's just useless compared to the work that I'm doing day to day at the agency, SEO and all of that marketing, and at the podcast we're just learning about cool stuff every week and we get to teach you guys about it, right? And yeah, my brother found out about that and this guy was pissed
Damn.
on the drive home, like it was like pretty heated, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then we came to a conclusion that like within these next few months we have to scale the agency to a certain point. And if I'm able to get to that, which I'm pretty confident that we can, inshallah. But yeah, if we're able to get there, then he won't tell me that I have to go back to school or anything, and I could just continue my full-time efforts at the agency. So I don't know that. I just want to talk about how like that's a huge stress relief. Like many people probably that like in the future that will listen to us, or even currently maybe they probably go through like a lot of pressure from their families of not being able to pursue what they actually want to do. And yeah, I would just say to stick
I
to
hear
what
that.
you're confident about doing as long as there's like a massive opportunity and you have the ability to achieve it.
I mean, if you ask me, I see this as a huge dub. Because if you go down the line, like let's say 5 years, 6 years, I think you're gonna be regretting him more for the rest of your life if you do something that he wants you to do instead of doing what you want to do. Because you're gonna look back and be like, oh, I didn't accomplish this, I didn't do this because my brother wanted me to do this and I didn't achieve my full potential. But if you
Yeah.
do something that you want to do, I think like, it might be like a little bit of like tension at first with him, like frustration, stuff like that. But down the line, when you do actually achieve your goals, which I think you will because I know you as a person, I think that love will reconnect back and there won't be any hatred. Instead of taking the other path where you always regret not doing what you want to do. That's how I view it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I appreciate your kind words too. And yeah, like there's like two ways to go about it, right? Like some people say to cut off your family, which I don't believe in, like cut off your family to pursue all of
Who says
your
that?
desires.
Why
Like
would you cut off your family?
I know, like, but like even Gary Vee says it, like, don't listen to your parents or something. And
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah,
Alex
I
Hormozy says it a lot too, how like he had to cut off his dad to pursue his goals. But like honestly, that's just a stupid thing in the West. And like it's going to lead to so much regret in the future. You're just going to be a lonely person with money in the future if
yeah.
you go down that route.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. Um, I also want to say like for me, uh like paying 300 or whatever amount for university education, for me, for my certification, it did help. Like if I'm
Mm.
being brutally honest, it helped me a lot in that topic because now I have some like background information. But for you, I don't really see how it would be beneficial for you to attend college and go in like cybersecurity if your whole idea of your passion is like things with like business and entrepreneurship and SEO.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I tell my brother too. Like I'm interested in cybersecurity and like it's cool that like I have this interest and ability to learn this stuff because I've learned a bit of it and I could just go down that route myself if I need to. Like if suppose we want to offer like, cybersecurity consulting in the future and stuff, but that's like in the future and that's something I could study on my own for. Like
Yeah, good.
that that doesn't require any school from my side. Of course, it's going to be harder as you said, like your courses helped you
Yeah,
to get the foundational grounding for your certifications, but it's definitely possible to do certifications without it.
for sure. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I think that was a good little personal conversation as we're getting like building relationship with our fans. Now you know a little bit more about us. But yeah, is there anything else you wanted to add about that?
No, that's about it. We could dive straight into Google I/O.
All right, let's do it because I was pretty excited about this actually.
All right, sick.
So yeah, the Google I/O is just an annual event where like Google they kind of showcase their new technology advancements for their company. This year it happened May 10th in San Francisco. Obviously, everything cool happens in San Francisco. The first, I have a few notes about it, which is like the main tech, like AI technologies they talked about. Marzooq may have different notes on it, but these are the few things that I found cool. I'm gonna take over the ground here and share my screen for a little while to show you guys more in detail. It might take me a little while. All right, here. And I'm not sure. Can you confirm that you can see it? A kid holding a balloon?
Yeah,
Okay, so as you can tell, one of their advancements was with editing, photo editing. I'm sure video editing is a part of this too. So it's called Magic Editor. It uses generic AI technology that apparently it's supposed to bring new editing features to pictures. For example, as you can see in this picture, there's a kid holding a bunch of balloons, but you can see the balloon is a little cut off here off the picture, and the kid is not really the center of attention in this picture. So go if we go back here with this new tool, you can actually take the picture, move it, take an object out of the picture, move it to the side, and as you can see, the balloons kind
Wow.
of distill themselves and add themselves to the picture, but it was never captured in the first place. So using AI, you're now able to kind of reframe the picture and make other things the center of attention. And if we keep looking at this, you can also see that, oh, never mind. Oh yeah, it was in this one. You can also see that now the picture might look a little raw, a little gray, if you can tell. You can change other
Mhm.
features as well, like the sky, the buildings, to make it look a lot more pleasant. If we go back
Wow.
here, you see a big difference in the lighting and everything. So
That's
yeah,
insane.
it's that is pretty insane. It's like little things that we always kind of had available, but with AI, you can see the difference that it makes when you add like attention to little specific details like that. So that is
Mhm.
one of their first feature advancements with
Is that
AI.
like is that a tool that people can use, or is that just like within the Photos app or something? Like, how do people use
Um,
this?
I think it's right now it's for Google Pixel only, so they're phones that have Google Pixel. I've never been
Okay.
able to edit images using Google on my computer, so I don't think you can do it on your computer yet. But it seems like something that will be available with the Google phones only for now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick
And
though. That's insane.
something that I was really excited about, not just for like me, but for everyone that uses Google Maps. I think if we go forward here, you can now kind of they basically use artificial intelligence to provide an immersive view for Google Maps for a route you want to take. Let's say in this case, it's in San Francisco and you want to go from place A to place B. They show you an immersive route that you would have to take, including traffic lights, the cars going in real time, the trees, the landscape, the setting, everything. And they show you the actual route you would take to go there. It's a lot more 3D-esque and like realistic than before. We kind of had like pictures of the street and you would have to like click, the little guy on Google, the orange little guy, you would have to like click around with him and see where you're going. So this is
Yeah.
just another way of paying attention to small details like that make a big difference in the Google Map feature. So that was another thing that I
Wait,
was
so
very
did you say that that's live view?
yeah, like it's live view. Like you can see the cars moving. It's not like actual cars with like license
Okay.
plates, but it's
Okay.
like generated traffic. It's like
I
NPCs in
see.
there.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because if it was live view, that would be like
No,
crazy.
that would be more scary than yeah. This is the guy, cool guy. He's a nice guy. And so that was it for the videos that I wanted to show. But yeah, like I don't think there's a name for this yet. They just kind of call it the immersive view.
Hmm.
With this, you can also there's an API. API basically allows developers to access the platform and make their own changes within the platform. So like, let's say there's a API for Google Docs, and there, if you're a developer, you can code your own stuff into Google Docs to make it to have more features, stuff like that. So this immersive view also has an API, so you can add additional details if you're skilled enough with coding, programming.
Wait, there's a
Um,
API for Google Docs?
no, that was just an example.
Oh,
There
okay.
may be, I don't know. I haven't discovered that yet, but there may be.
Because that would be really cool. Like I use Notion a lot. I don't know if you use it. Like, have you heard of it?
No, no, I haven't.
Oh, okay. So
Is
it's
it an
basically
Apple
like
thing?
no, it's
No.
like its own. It's a standalone note-taking type of website. It's you could take notes on it. Like there's about project management tools.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's somewhat like that too. You could use it for that, but it's like it's a lot more like it's a lot easier to use than Google Docs in my opinion. Like you can make toggles and stuff. Like you could save notes within toggles, whereas like in Google Docs, like
Ooh.
you can't do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Okay.
like the main benefit that I get from it. But yeah, if there was some API for Google Docs to be able to just add that stuff yourself, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. I might check out Notion after this because I do a lot of note taking, so that might be useful for me. And other than that, just Bard, like Google's AI chatbot, like ChatGPT, but for Google. So they have introduced some new language models, just like how ChatGPT uses GPT-4. They use Palm to power Bard. If that makes sense, it just sounds funny. But yeah, they introduced Palm 2, and there's different models inside of Palm 2. There's the Gecko model, the Otter model, Bison model, and Unicorn model. Like as you get more into these models, like Gecko is the lightest one, the fastest one, but it provides less detail. So it's available on your smartphone, on the Google Pixel smartphone. That because it is so like immersive, fast, and lightweight. As you go more into the other animals, they get more into detail, but they also require more additional like system specifications. And that's kind of all I wanted to say about that event.
Yeah, this event was like there are loads of videos and sessions that they did like across so many topics like website, like the web, mobile, like AI, and like cloud, and like they're like hundreds of videos on
Yeah,
each
it's like
topic.
it's too much to like all put it all into one podcast,
Yeah, but
unfortunately.
yeah, but what we would say is that definitely go to io.google .com. Well, io.google actually. That's the website that all of this information is on. And like honestly, if you want to get better at web design or like SEO, like and if you have like a day or two to spare, I would just go through all of these videos, take a bunch of notes, and like I don't doubt that you would learn like enough to start like making a difference in your job and
In general, I think if you want to really get involved in the space, the best thing to do is to take like a couple hours a day and just research. Just go down rabbit holes and see what you can find,
yeah,
discover new things. That's the main way to
100%.
learn about anything.
Yeah, 100%. Like rabbit holes are so satisfying. Like who doesn't love it?
Like realistic rabbit holes in the grass or
Yeah, both.
oh okay, both.
Sometimes, yeah, I just become one with rabbits and then I just yeah, on weekends, usually on Sunday.
Sunday, I think like since it's the summer and like people mow their grass on Sunday, there's more tendency for them to come out. So that's probably where you
Yeah.
find the most rabbit holes.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've analyzed the trends, right? That's
Yeah,
why I
yeah,
do it on
exactly.
Sunday.
SEO,
Yeah.
entrepreneurship. That's yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any other things, any specific features that you wanted to share on your end?
Um, there's nothing specific that I would want to talk about, but yeah, like as I said before, if like you want to become a better web developer, better at AI, this current trend uptick in AI. There's so much opportunity. I would just go through their AI, like a few of their AI lectures, maybe like all of them if you have some time, and just take as many notes as you can and start implementing them. Because who who's a better resource to learn from than Google?
That's true. That's true. I didn't. They offer like AI courses. Like, how does that work?
So there's just like sessions, like I guess they give intros to these topics, and why
I'm
why
not
you
laughing.
okay, okay.
I know.
I
Yeah, I'm
can't
not
tell
laughing.
sometimes. But yeah, they give intros generally, and then yeah, they go deep a bit too. So like suppose you want to do something with Dart in the coding language, then or Flutter or whatever, then they have like tutorials, I guess, on it. And yeah,
Okay, I see.
So intros, tutorials, workshops, those type of videos are on this
I see.
website.
Yeah. Learning always has a positive ROI.
Yeah. And like even for SEO, like there's like core web vitals, like videos on that. Like that's actually so a big thing in SEO is like there's no like clear cut framework for how to do well in SEO, but you got to study the algorithm for the Google's algorithm, all of their updates, like all of these videos that they drop about all of the updates that they're making to Google. You just have to stay up to date with that, and then after that, you have to get creative and figure out how you could actually implement strategies to start
I
like
see.
taking advantage of those updates.
Is that why you like SEO? Because there's no framework that you need to stay inside of?
I like SEO because it's like a really easy way to make money,
Oh,
like a quick way to make money. And also, yeah, because it's like it's not really the cutting edge, but it is at the same time. Like I like to do stuff where like there's not much competition because like if you do those things like really good, then you could get really far compared to like going into something that's re has
mm,
high potential, but there's like so much competition.
that's true. Interesting. So yeah, I think we kind of covered whatever we had to in the Google I/O event that was happening this last week. Now we're gonna go a little back in time, stay in the future, with Balaji's $1 million bet. I think Marzooq can kind of diverge us into that topic.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, probably like it should have been like around 90 days ago, because that's how long the bet was for. But I think he ended the bet early or something. So basically the bet was that in 90 days, Bitcoin will go to $1 million per Bitcoin. And oh,
That's
obviously
wild.
that he didn't achieve that goal. Bitcoin did start going up a bit, but it definitely did not even get close to 1 million. So the bet was that if he loses the bet, he would have to donate to some Bitcoin charities or something. And he actually ended up donating 1.5 million instead of a million. And he basically used this to make a public statement. Basically, his his like point or like his iconic statement was that he burned a million to tell us that they're printing trillions.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
bars.
bars. So he spoke about how we're currently in a state of world or like the state of economy in the US similar to the 2008 financial crisis, but he's saying that it could potentially be way worse than that. And he compared it to even the USSR, which was a superpower, but collapsed within 2 years. Like within 2 years, they went from superpower to collapse.
So he's kind of telling us that he's trying to tell us that if the fiat is gonna crash, then we should focus on cryptocurrencies? Or is he just mentioning that we should just focus on Bitcoin? And he's really believing that if the fiat crashes, which he thinks it is, then Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is going to go up, hence the $1 million bet.
Yeah, it's most likely just crypto. I mean, sorry, just Bitcoin. I don't think it's crypto in general because otherwise he would have like he could have easily made the bet split up amongst like multiple cryptos.
Mm,
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's a good point.
like, what do you think? I like
Um,
in
oh,
my opinion,
go ahead.
like this like if he thinks like Bitcoin is going to take over and like every country is just going to adopt Bitcoin, I don't I don't know how that will work and if anyone will even allow that. But because like gold. was like gold is a physical thing, and that's mined, right? And countries have to access that physically, and whichever country gets that, then they have the most value in the world, right? Their current their
Yeah.
economy will thrive, but there's no country that can mine Bitcoin necessarily. Like you could mine Bitcoin, I guess.
But like it's not like reserved to areas of the world. You just need the equipment, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. There you need equipment, and then Bitcoin is also capped. So like once it's fully mined, then what's going to happen?
Like are you asking me or are you just saying?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I feel like that's I always thought of like what I knew that there was a cap on these cryptocurrencies, but I always thought like what's gonna happen when we reach the top? Because with money there's no limit. You just keep printing more, but with cryptocurrencies, I have no idea how much where's the supply? I have it right here. Market cap $535 trillion, or like what's after trillion? I don't know, but it's pretty high. It's around those numbers.
Sextillion. Yeah, yo.
Sextillion. That's how much love I have for you. Ayo. So yeah, like I don't really know what's gonna happen after that. Like, are we gonna we're gonna divide it across each powerful nation fairly, which probably won't happen. Like, I don't know how the division is gonna work, who's gonna get most of it, but if we are going into a cryptocurrency kind of market where we kind of abandon fiat and physical currencies, um, I definitely see crypto going up. I think if you personally ask me, we're gonna have another surge just we had in 2017 with Bitcoin and stuff. We're gonna have another one of those where every cryptocurrency is gonna go up, even the shit ones. And I think that's when everyone's gonna onboard into cryptocurrencies. But I'll be honest, I have no idea how we're gonna deal with the market cap on these cryptocurrencies. Can you remove it? Like, is it possible to maybe change the cap of these cryptocurrencies?
I don't know about that, but like, isn't that gonna like remove some credibility from these projects?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen,
Then
you're hearing it right now that we're probably gonna reach a market cap. So if I were you, I would just buy some and then donate it to us through our
yeah,
fuck. We don't even have a donation link.
yeah, we need a freaking like ETH or
Yeah,
Bitcoin link.
I'll drop my Ethereum address in the description. Just send it over there. But yeah, like me and Marzooq, even our fans, everyone listening here, we're here in advance. So I don't think we're gonna be the ones that have to suffer from that because we're already in this crypto world. But yeah, I'm not sure how the market cap is gonna affect the whole country, the whole world, sorry.
Yeah, like it's the market cap thing, and then like also like our countries like who's there's always a world power, and without a world power, like sure like how will it work? Like I can't say that like there could be a world without one world power, and then all all economies will just rely on Bitcoin or
Yeah,
just
sounds
cryptos in
crazy.
general. Yeah, like of course we should think in ways that the world hasn't experienced anything before. That way you're able to like understand not understand the future a bit better, but like have you're able to like map out the future a bit better rather than like thinking down the along the same lines of what has happened already because the world acts in unpredictable ways. So you need to follow data and also imagine things that haven't been done before so that you could prepare for the future before it happens. But I don't know how a world would work without like one major power. And like no
I
one
don't think anyone knows how it's gonna work.
yeah. And like no one would control Bitcoin. Like there's no one person that controls it.
Yeah,
So how would
you
it
can't.
work?
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? It's decentralized. You can't really control Bitcoin. It's gonna be
Yeah.
really interesting. But I think I mentioned this to you like a year ago. I don't think you remember. But Gary Vee said like he doesn't doubt that all the major countries right now that really want to be a superpower that are advanced in crypto as well, like Russia to name one. You mentioned USSR. He says that he doesn't doubt that Russia has a list of the people with the most Bitcoin in the world. So like I'm guessing that they kind of want to keep track of the distribution of Bitcoin just in case something like that happens where we kind of all rally towards cryptocurrencies. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. And I was gonna say something else, but I forgot. Do you think there could be a hybrid mix where we use both fiat and cryptocurrencies? Like
Yeah, but
that
then
kind of seems like the best option, no?
yeah, of course. I mean, I guess that's what we are doing currently, no?
I think right now is like 85% fiat and then 15% cryptocurrency.
Oh, okay. So you
But
mean like complete 50/50?
yeah, or like 49-51. Like
Okay.
a very close balance like that.
Yeah. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, what would be the global reserve currency then?
I'll be
Because
honest with
like people are
like
saying that the
what is
dollar is
that?
gonna collapse.
Oh, like the for fiat?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not that skilled in these kind of economic talks, unfortunately. So I
Yeah,
have no idea.
we gotta study that.
We have to, yeah.
Gotta study
Balaji
that.
probably could.
Hmm?
But Balaji could probably tell us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't trust him too much with his $1 million Bitcoin bet. No, I'm joking.
I guess this is like a perfect segue into more like the digital outlier segment because as you'll see, this wasn't actually a huge bet for Balaji. So let me tell you guys a bit about Balaji and
Wait,
tell
can I make an
guys
introduction for
okay,
the segment?
sure.
Uh, Welcome to the digital outlier segment, everyone. All right, that's it. Thank you.
I love it. So yeah, Balaji, what I call him beast mode Srinivasan. The he's an American. He was born in the US and like there's not much known about his like early childhood. And in the future, hopefully when we do more digital outlier segments, we could find out these deep details about these guys' childhoods. Because that's the whole point of this, so that you guys could like draw some patterns from these people's childhoods and understand that you might have gone through similar experiences and you could also achieve similar outcomes. But yeah, these guys, this guy grew up in a Tamil Indian family, and yeah, I'm not sure which side was Tamil, which side was Indian, but yeah, his parents were immigrants, and his father was an engineer. And from an early childhood, Balaji was interested in science and technology. So he's basically been a nerd, like, and he grew up in a nerd household. He's he's always been a nerd, and now the world is rewarding him for being a nerd. This is why I tell you guys that each outro to like, just be a fierce nerd. Like, I guess you guys are already fierce nerds, but like, be more of a fierce nerd. But
Exactly.
yeah, this guy's insane. He got a BS a master's, no, not BS like that, but he got a bachelor's, a
Bachelor's?
master's, yeah, and a
That's wild.
PhD in electrical engineering from Stanford, and he also did a master's in chemical engineering.
Bro, that's I don't know, like if you guys know how hard that is, electrical engineering is probably the hardest engineering there is out there. And to achieve bachelor's, master's, and PhD at Stanford, and then go to get a master's in chemical engineering is like on another level of education and
All from
studying.
yeah, and all from Stanford.
Yeah,
It's
like
insane.
yeah, exactly.
And then this guy went on to found like 3 or 4 companies, and he wrote a book as well. So he started in 2007. He created Council, which was a genetic testing company, and they sold for, wait, let me just double check to make sure, but from what I remember, Council sold for like a few hundred million. Meanwhile, you could probably talk about earn.com if you want, while I
Yeah,
figure
sure.
out how much you sold it for.
For sure. So yeah, Earn.com, formerly known as 21 Inc. It was a Bitcoin mining startup that Balaji did. He kind of started, he was a CEO of it. And then Coinbase actually bought it, which then became Earn.com when Coinbase kind of integrated it. They still kept Balaji as the CTO of Coinbase, so they didn't just fire him and take his company. But apparently it started as a Bitcoin mining startup, which raised $120 million. And throughout that, it kind of evolved into those like little apps that you have. I'm not sure if you did this, like you watch surveys or you watch videos and they give you an amount of coins. And then specifically on the mobile device, like on your iPhone, if you did this, you can use those coins to buy things. It's like currency. They kind of did that. Earn.com kind of did that, but with cryptocurrency. Like you would fill out surveys or you would reply to email campaigns, like specific things that people are looking for. You would basically give your attention to them in different ways digitally, and they would reward you with cryptocurrency amounts. So, for example, you would fill out a survey and it would give you like 0.00004 Bitcoin, which is like $20, which actually isn't bad. It's just the Bitcoin amount makes it seem small. But yeah, so he founded that and then he sold it to Coinbase, which is then earn.com. And earn.com is still actually a thing. Like it's not gone. You can still I'm not sure how it works, but if you just search up earn.com, it's still a website, but it's just now integrated with Coinbase.
Yeah. So this guy started that. He sold it to Coinbase, became a CTO, like while he like earned out all of his like post-acquisition shares or whatever. Like that's what usually happens after acquisition. Like they have some contract where if you achieve certain goals after the acquisition, you get another payout or something. But yeah, he did that. And before this, the company that I was talking about, he before he started Earn.com and the Bitcoin mining startup, which became Earn.com, he started Council, which was the genetic testing company, and he sold it to Myriad Genetics for guess how much? I said it, I know
Uh,
I said a few hundred million, but
300 million?
yeah, $375 million.
Oh my God.
So this guy is like, even for Earn.com, like that Bitcoin mining startup, he raised $120 million just to run it. So this guy is like,
Now I
money is
could see
nothing
why
to
he
him.
just wasted 1.5. Well, he didn't waste, but he just gave away 1.5 like it was nothing.
Yeah, and this guy's freaking insane. This is why I said beast mode Srinivasan, because this guy he's a general partner at A16Z, which is a like it's an investment fund which is super bullish on crypto, and like the founders of the firm are insane too. I'll talk more about it next podcast, hopefully, when we go more in depth into the Balaji bet and like why exactly he made the bet, like more in depth about that. But yeah, he invested in a bunch of protocols and companies like early on, and one of them are actually Ethereum. So like he's just been investing in a bunch of early crypto projects, companies, and like I'm sure his net worth is like way over a
Yeah,
billion.
he's rolling in money.
Yeah. So like that 1.5 million is nothing to him. Like honestly, like in a couple of years we got to get a sponsorship. We got to get Balaji to like give us
We gotta make a bet
just
like that with him.
yeah. We got to make a bet
Yeah. And
minus
then
the bet part of it because betting has
oh yeah,
haram.
that is true. That is haram, fortunately. Is it haram? Like, it's not haram for him, right? He's not a Muslim.
Yeah. So like even as Muslim, you could do one-sided bets. So
Oh,
like only one person has the upside or downside.
I'm a little confused by that, but
So
uh,
basically, if he betted us like $1 million for something and he won, then he would just keep his million. But if he lost, then he would have to give us the
oh,
million.
okay, 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 that makes
Yeah,
sense now. So just to summarize what he did, he came into U.S. His parents were immigrants from the United States. I'm sure his father was an engineer, so I'm sure they weren't like super poor, but they were middle
yeah,
class. From an early age, he was a nerd, like just like Marzooq. He was a fierce nerd. Probably listened to Digital Street. He wasn't out back then, but if he was a nerd now at that age, he probably would have. And then he got a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD in electrical engineering from Stanford, and a master's degree in chemical engineering. So he got 4 degrees, all in engineering from a prestigious school like Stanford. And then he just went on and founded like 4 companies, Council or whatever. Then he acquired by Myriad Genetics for 375 million. And then okay, and then he co-founded something else, and he did this and he did that, and now he's basically like he's just living the life.
yeah. And he wrote an entire book as well called the Network State, and that's about basically creating a country or something that's ruled on crypto. And like it's not a fiction book. So he actually goes deep into like the economics and everything behind it too.
Interesting. Oh, that might be a good book to read if you're into cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, 100%.
I,
And he
I
has
actually,
like
sorry, go ahead.
he has this project. I'm gonna need to find the link for it and I'll put it in the description. But basically they do like weekly giveaways or something where like you have to figure out some coding challenge or crypto challenge, and sometimes it's philosophy, sometimes it's actually like a technical challenge that you have to do, and the winner of those challenges get awarded like Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like
Ooh,
that like each week. So it's like a weekly hackathon kind of thing.
I was just about to say it's like a weekly hackathon. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah,
What
that
were
is
you gonna
pretty.
say?
I was gonna say like I wanted to get more into since I'm more on the like developing side, I wanted to get a lot more into the specifics of developing on top of blockchains, like programming on top of blockchains, automation, AI, things like that. So I think network state might be a good read for me, especially in this scenario.
Yeah, facts. I mean, we're gonna experience a bunch of it soon too, right? Sadra and I are going to ETH Global in Waterloo at like in about a month. So we're probably
Yeah.
gonna build some cool stuff and then we'll talk about it on the pod too.
We might get
Might even,
the Vitalik. We might get Vitalik on the pod. You never know. Slip him a
yeah.
little note during this presentation.
And then yeah, we might even like if our like project partners are down, we might just give away the project.
That is, yep, that is definitely something in our future future tasks to do for you guys.
Yeah. I
And
think we covered everything this week, right?
yeah, I was about to say we covered everything. We had a good podcast episode. We went a little more personal, which I like because we're kind of building that relationship, as I said. Um, I don't know whose turn is it for the ending quote. I actually don't remember.
Um, I think it's mine because yeah, I think you've done it a bunch now.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think it's your turn. What do you have for us, Marzooq?
All right, so I just searched up a quote from Balaji, and it's not from Balaji himself. It's from some next Balaji. I think he's a philosopher. There's so many Balajis, but this is Balaji Venkataraman. But yeah, he said, "I'd rather regret the things I've done than regret things I haven't done." And that
Ooh,
ties in a lot with everything we spoke about this week.
exactly. That ties in a lot with what you were saying.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Good quote. And then Marzooq.
Oh yeah, yeah, my bad.
It's okay.
So yeah, as I usually say before we end off each podcast, we're selective about our audience. I want you to know that like we actually like reached out to you in a certain way, then that's like why you're listening right now. And you wouldn't have been listening if we didn't reach out to you in our specific digital street, cybersecurity, Web3, cloud,
Every
Ethereum.
single tech topic.
Yeah. If we didn't reach out through that strategy, you wouldn't have listened to it. So, like, that's the only reason why you're here right now. And we're going to continue to reach out to people in that way to build our community. But if you know fierce nerds and like just cool people that are building cool stuff or like love to learn about these topics, feel free to refer them. And like we love to have cool people in the community. We don't want any like wastemans. But yeah, anyone that's a
True.
nerd or like
Tall
anyone
nerds,
that's interested in
tall
these type of
enthusiasts.
topics, tall enthusiasts too.
Yep,
And yeah, and like if you listen to us, you're just gonna become like Balaji. So like if you know people that can become like Balaji, just like refer them our way. But yeah,
exactly.
if you don't know of people like this, just keep the pod a secret for now, and we'll let you guys know when we're gonna open up to the public and normies. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. Yeah, thank you guys. Beautiful conclusion by Marzooq. Thank you guys for tuning in again. And we will catch you guys next week.
Yeah.
See you next week at Digital Street. You know it's love, yo.
Thanks, Deep Fake Tupac.
Respects to Pick and Tate. Final deep fake sign off by Yobo Morgan Freeman.